So tonight I'm going to need your help with the homily. A very dear friend of mine gave me this really cool ampersand sign. You know, it's a carved one and it's really awesome, and I forgot it at home. So you have to put up with this ampersand sign, okay? So when I point to this, what do we have to say? Good. Let's try a little more enthusiasm. One more time, maybe. There we go. Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. So first, a bit of humor. A pastor and his associate were in the rectory one Sunday afternoon, and they were in a rather loud argument with each other after the associate had taken a phone call. Finally, the pastor said to the associate, Okay, I'll take the funeral on Monday, but you know it is my day off. And the associate said, Thank you. You know it's your mother. Okay. I thought it was funnier. Sorry. Kathy and I were driving yesterday, actually, on a rather busy street, and a person simply stepped off of the curb right in the middle of the block and proceeded to walk across this busy street, right? So everybody had to slam on their brakes, including us, and people from the other direction. Everybody just about hit everybody else and just about hit the individual, but they just continued on their way, just across the street, walked up to the sidewalk and walked off. And I said to myself, I wonder if this isn't a reflection of the gospel today, because even though nobody ever honked at him, nobody shared an uplifted middle-digit opinion that I know of, you could tell there was an angst amongst all the drivers, and there was not even an acknowledgement on the part of the individual that they had just almost caused a whole bunch of accidents. There was almost a sense, right? A sense that this person had the right to do that because they're a pedestrian, right? And they know in Minnesota you have to stop for pedestrians. But I don't think that attitude of, what do we call it? Hold on, I lost it. An attitude of expectation and an attitude of privilege, right? That this person, like, I'm a pedestrian, I can walk across the street and you'll stop. You're a driver, you have to stop for me. That attitude of expectation, that attitude that their behavior doesn't cause anybody else any trouble or any angst is an attitude which I think is what the gospel is talking about today. We live, my friends, in a time of rugged individualism marked by an attitude of entitlement. That just seems to be our culture, right? Politicians, I don't get this, but politicians say to courts, to federal and state courts, let's not do the trial now. Let's do it in a couple weeks after the campaign's over, right? It's like, where do we get off thinking that we can tell a court when they're supposed to take us to task? And judges, they've said, well, I didn't know I had to report that lavish vacation. Like, really? Come on. The state of Minnesota won't even let you take a lunch from an individual. How are you would a judge not think that he has to report, a vacation? It doesn't make any sense. Leaders point to other leaders and deflect their own responsibility to others. Thank you. Faith is expected to not place any burden or expectation on our lives. It is as if we are the ones who determine those expectations for us and when they should be applied in our lives and when they should be foregone. We determine when we have to walk in the crosswalk and when we can step off of the curb and step across a busy street. Kind of as if God has no claim on our lives or our behaviors. Yet I really believe this is precisely the lesson of this gospel today. You see, we have the king who invited his friends to the wedding of his daughter. They're too busy with life. They sent their respectful, declining RSVPs, and then they killed some of their servants when they tried to really encourage them to come. So then they do what anybody else does. They invited everyone, absolutely everyone to the table, much like God invites us to this table. But there's only one caveat for us and for them. It's that we must wear a wedding garment. But the wedding garment was supplied by the king. So it wasn't like the person didn't have one, right? The fact is this person in the gospel comes to the wedding feast and says, no, I came, I'm here. You should be happy I'm here. I don't need your wedding garment. I'll be here and I'll stand out like I want to stand out so that everybody sees me. That's what this gospel is about. Look at me. And that rugged individualism is what the king says, oh no, dude, you get bound up and set outside because we're all in this feast. We're all the same, and that's what the wedding garment was a symbol of. It actually was an ancient tradition in the Mediterranean culture that everybody would come to the wedding and they would receive a garment. That garment was the same for everybody. It was only the bride and the groom and the rabbi that had a different garment. So we were all the same, in other words it was. And this gentleman decides, no, I'm better than y'all. I don't have to wear that garment, even though you'll provide it for me. That arrogant attitude of entitlement, once again, it's there just like it is here today in our world. And that person wants to make their presence known and have this sense of privilege. But in many ways, I think this gospel parable stands for us as a stark reminder that faith and grace are always freely given to all of God's people. That salvation is offered free to all, to everyone, the good, the bad, and the bright-eyed. It comes with an expectation. It comes not with a price, but with an expectation of an attitude of gratitude. It comes with an expectation of an attitude of gratitude, of thankfulness, of respect, of hopefulness, of communal responsibility. That's what we bring to this world, my friends. That's what we bring to this world as a community of faith. We bring a reminder to everyone who sees us, to everyone who encounters us, to all who come into our presence, be it here or on the street, that we are marked by the wedding garment of gratitude. Marked by the wedding garment of gratitude. I believe that this is one of the greatest charisms of our community, to be a people who are willing to stand up and say, yes, God has a claim on our lives, and yes, we are freely accepting that garment of gratitude. For that claim on our lives, each and every one of us is grateful. It's a reminder, as the Lutheran theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer said, if the only prayer we ever mentioned or ever prayed was thank you, that would be enough.